Thanks.
Well, now's as good a time as any, Mr. Newman. Take her down to periscope depth.
Yes, sir. Clear the bridge.
Dive! Stand right.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Salvador Cordova. Thank you for joining us this evening, actually this afternoon, and Merry Christmas to you all. Welcome to this show on this channel, the Evidence and Reasons YouTube channel, which is a channel dedicated to exploring evidence and reasons for the Christian faith. On this channel, we also try to give a fair amount of time to the opposing viewpoints so that people can compare and contrast what the other side has to say, and in the process, probably develop more stronger convictions about their beliefs one way or the other. I'm privileged to have Dr. Bob here, who is a coach in debate and in public speaking. So he's going to give me some pointers and critiques for my debate performance last night on the topic of atheism and Christianity. Atheism versus Christianity. I represented the Christian side, of course. And I got word that some people are interested in having me debate Matt Dillahunty or Aron Ra. So I better up my game, because right now I'm not really swinging in the big leagues. And boy, if I get up on that debate stage with these other gentlemen that have been doing this for years, and to my knowledge, these guys, this is their profession, to advocate atheism. This is going to be, I have to get ready to slay Goliath, so to speak. So, Dr. Bob, tell us about your work in, I know you're a professional network engineer and you'd worked in Christian ministry, but tell the audience about your I presume it was volunteer work and debate coach and public speaking and toastmasters. Can you tell them, the audience, a little bit about that?
Well, as an area director and specialist in public speaking, both not only here but internationally, I've had the opportunity to address a whole range of different topics. And while preparing for these, I got sharper at debate, understanding, and was able to bring in everything I'd learned in the past about logic as it came to public speaking to be more effective by understanding the opposing positions. And in live debate, I've had some success in staying on topic and exposing logic fallacies and flaws in what people are saying. Such as if you wish to describe something and you wander off a little bit and try to use that as proof, it doesn't work. Watch politicians try and wander around. Yeah, even if you agree with him, you want to say, why did you say that?
Okay, so let me share some. Let me share one of the what I considered one of the more interesting comments. Let me see if I could find it here, and I'm going to share it. Here it is by some. This is Infernal. Someone who goes by the handle Infernal Symphony, and this is one of my favorite comments. I thought it was one of the most encouraging things I heard from the other side, kind of in a definitely backhanded way. Infernal Symphony TV said, Sal is nice, affable, and pleasant to listen to, but unfortunately also dishonest, willfully ignorant, and just plain wrong. It stuns me to see such a well-respected scientist who works with this stuff day in, day out, play dumb and somehow not understand how evidence and novel predictions work. Conveniently, when it comes to discussing his God belief, definitely a case of confirmation bias, and it saddens me that such a bright man would be so eager to disregard his intellect just to save face. But, perhaps the way to look at this in an alternate sort of way is he actually said something kind of nice, I guess. He said, I'm nice, I'm affable, I'm pleasant, well respected, bright. Hey, I'll take that any day, you know?
Yeah, but when Obama said the same thing when Biden said the same thing about Obama during the early presidential campaigns, oh, he's a nice, clean, articulate young man. Who did he catch it? Because how dare he say someone as articulate who's non-white? Same idea. Damning with faint praise is what they call it. He says you're a nice guy, but dishonest, which is totally negates any kind of compliment. It's trying to drop the guard with something nice, and then came to the conclusion after stringing together all those facts, decided to add to it by saying, "Oh, I choose to interpret the information in front of me differently. Therefore, he is wrong."
Well,
that's called opinion bias. Also, we need to examine that person's a priori, the things you accept with little to no proof. And guess what? They showed it.
Well, I'm not really trying to defend the comment. I'm just musing. 20 years ago, greetings, Nicholas, one of our viewers. 20 years ago, they were just saying I'm stupid and ignorant, and they don't say that anymore. So maybe I'm making a little bit of progress. So, you had some critiques, which I considered highly constructive about my interchange. And so you were pointing out some places that I dropped the ball. And, sometimes I don't recognize the play and don't have an appropriate counter. So
that's why you have a coach on the side who sees everything. Maybe someone high up in the stands and says, hey, they dropped the guy's back. That's a passing defense. You better shift the play now. That's why you have to have an outside observer or two. So what did you see, and what should I do different next time I encounter these things? Well, this guy had a number of things that were just intellectually dishonest. Number one is that he never really stayed on subject. He tried to pin him down, and he squirmed away better than any politician, describing his color as plaid.
Well, he did say he's trying to run for president.
He's getting good practice. But I'm not going to go any further with that because it can get it'll get off topic.
Right. So I'm sorry. Can you just repeat what you were saying?
He wouldn't be pinned down on something. He would start on something. You'd ask for clarification. He'd equivocate out of it and try and say, oh, that's not true. And then try and bring back unrelated facts to support an unsupportable premise. That has its own set of flaws, but it's easiest just to say, you can't add 2 and 2 together, scream it's 5, and expect people to believe you. That one falls under, if people start believing it, bandwagon fallacy. Everybody's believing it, therefore it must be right. No. It means a whole bunch of people are being misled.
So that's not the same thing as an argument from authority. I'll use that term. That's a bandwagon fallacy.
There's that. That's one you could use too, because if he says, well, all these scientists say this, he didn't quite go there, but he was going that way.
Yeah.
He did try to argue from authority. And while it's okay to say, well, this microbiologist says this, you'd have your research assistant sitting there on, oh, no, wait a minute. Here's the full quote. Shoot it over to you. And you sit there going, wait a minute. The full quote is really this. And you're reading it to him and he goes, oh, man, busted. In context, it means this. You can't take it to mean the opposite.
So I have a question. There were a number of non-facts that he stated, and because some of this I'm more familiar with than he is, how do you deal with non-facts? And especially if he's, when we're in a shortened debate, it's really hard to be able to say, okay,
well, let me tell you exactly how to do it. Ready?
Okay.
I just told you. I just showed you. You either interrupt or be forceful with it. Interrupt serves 2 purposes. Me, with the slight hearing problem, I sit there and I use that to, excuse me, I didn't quite hear all your words. Would you please repeat? So you to make sure you got it. Second, after he finishes, Sal, take off the nice hat, but don't put on the mean hat. Just put on the firm one, or just leave the hats off and just say, if I understood you right, you said that the study of scalus indicates that the talus formations are exactly the way they should be according to this theory promoted by Yang Cheng. And you say, excuse me, Yang Cheng never said that. The talus formations are inaccurate as you described them. And while we're at it, since we've got 2 out of 3 wrong, I must question number 3. Therefore, try again, sir. That's just not true. It just ain't true. So, be a little firm in your response.
Well, actually, this is going to take me some time to think up the problem is I can give verbose responses.
But material. I just made that up to give you the idea.
Yes. And so I actually have to work on it, because doing this on the fly is really hard, because you have to try to be succinct and you're assessing the knowledge level of the audience, which is kind of low. I'm not trying to insult the audience here, but, because most of them are not familiar with.
I could bury you in computer concepts in probably less than 5 minutes, but it doesn't serve any purpose.
Right.
But if I say something you don't agree with, what would you do? You would say, wait a minute, that's not quite right. Because. And it shouldn't take long to bring it out. And you say, there was a research paper 2 years ago that shows that your 10-year-old theory is wrong.
Well, see, that's what I did yesterday, and he disregarded it. And I could have been more forceful and saying, he was saying that's some researcher's imagination. If I could take a quick commercial break to say, greetings, Jungle Jargon, greetings, Redefined Living, and greetings, Nicholas, proclaimer of Messiah. I'm here with an expert debate coach, Dr. Bob, who I presume has volunteered. His regular job's a network engineer, and he's been involved in ministry, but he has worked in debate and public speaking and Toastmasters at the national and international level. So he's giving me his reflections on last night's debate, and he's giving me pointers because people are trying to get me to swing in the big leagues. They're trying to get me get a match between a debate between me and Aron Ra, or me and Matt Dillahunty. So this could be fun. And so I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn how to handle these fastballs here, and they got me kind of Yeah, TJump threw me a few things. I'm generally charitable, and I think he just didn't know. I mean, to my knowledge, he doesn't have a science degree, and so he was just talking about stuff he doesn't know. And so it's like he said, yeah, Steve Benner was just imagining that. I should have been more forceful and say, no, Steve Benner is an origin of life research, which I pointed out. And he's articulating accepted chemical theory. And this is experimentally verified. It doesn't matter. I should have said opinions. What's the right word to say? Opinions don't matter as much as fact.
Opinions are fascinating, but facts carry the day.
Opinions. Oh, let me say that. Opinions are fascinating. But facts carry the day. And what I really wanted to press him on was he's claiming that these are facts. And I was trying to say, no, they're faith opinions. You're representing them as facts and they're not. And I happen to know that. I just have to be more forceful to just.
You actually hit it well when you said yes. And you have a dust storm go through a junkyard and build a 747. Yes, that's your evolutionary theory, dude.
Yeah. So now I just realized many times the other side, as we had talked offline in another venue, they often put the Christians on the defensive. I'm going to try. Let me run this by you because I gave specifically the example of Charles Duke. I can also give another example of James Tour. He's a Jew that became a Christian. He's a Jew that became a Christian, and now he's a famous, one of the top respected chemists, really scientists in the world at this point. But when he was going to college in Syracuse, he encountered the gospel, and one time he was praying, and not one time, but the first time he prayed to God, and he was accepting the Lord into his life, he said he had a vision of Jesus. So here we have a top scientist. That's a personal experience, and I'm not trying to represent that as proof of God. Neither am I trying to represent, proof of God for an atheist. Okay, I'm not going to try to say an atheist, hey, atheist, you should believe God because James Tour had a vision. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that, hey, atheist, you should believe in God because Charles Duke prayed in the name of Jesus over a blind girl and she got healed. That's not the point I'm making. The point I want to confront them with is, what does atheism have to offer these individuals? What do you have to say to them? Why should they abandon their faith? These are eminent people in society who had a spiritual experience. Why? What are you going to tell them? Why are you going to judge them to be wrong and tell them to live their lives differently? Because I know Matt Dillahunty is an anti-theist. And I just find it kind of ironic. He wants to go tell scientists like James Tour to stop. He wants to oppose them. So I just wanted to run that by you because I may face people like this at some point. Because too many times they're just attacking the Christian faith. And I just want to say, well, what does atheism have to offer me and people like James Tour and Charles Duke? No one ever uses that tactic. I'm going to use it. I was thinking about it. I guess there's one way to find out, huh?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, try it. Okay, I'll try it. I've got a pool of potential debate opponents that I could try this out who are atheists. I'll say, okay, what does your atheism have to offer me? Someone like James Tour.
Atheistic group. Name me one. Two if you can. Bonus points if you go to 4 groups claiming, proclaiming, standing for, fighting for, dying for atheism that have done wonderful works to help others. Name them.
Andrew Carnegie.
Extra points. Maybe 2.
Andrew. I actually cited him yesterday. Andrew Carnegie. He was a little bit of a scoundrel, and I actually think atheists, many of them do have some sort of, they have a moral compass, but I'd say it's broken. Meaning Carnegie had enough of a moral compass to say, hey, I'm going to die. Let me do something with all my money. So he gave it all away to build libraries and institutions. And
well, there was a string attached. I'll give you $10 million. You better come up with $1 million on your own.
So, but I'm going to, yeah, you know what? So let me put that in my notes.
Also, Carnegie was one of the original and very good robber barons.
Yeah, Robert. Yeah, like I said, yeah, he wasn't so wholesome earlier in his career. I guess maybe toward the end of his life, he's like, oh yeah, I need to kind of do a little of atonement. So, I don't know what to say, but he was anti-Christian, and I see that. I do meet atheists that have. I mean, there's a moral compass there. It's hard to deny. It's just like when Jesus said, you being evil know how to give good gifts to your children. It's like, yeah, they have a moral compass. It may be broken, but they have one.
Yeah.
So batting practice, try out. And so the question is, what can atheism do for me? I mean, if they say, oh, well, you'll be better at science. And like, well, okay, if someone who's not a scientist says that to me, I'll have issues with that.
Or you could just say, if you've done your homework, how about Charles Babbage?
Yes.
Johannes Kepler. Oh, while we're at, let's talk about Isaac Newton. Yeah, those guys had no room for God in their life when they came up with these fantastic discoveries. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Their papers proclaimed who the creator was and gave him by name and said Jesus Christ more than once. Galileo, oh yeah, Christian to the core.
Well, I've been
there's more.
Just another commercial break. We've been joined by Luca Medugno and Dapper Dino, and I presume they have subscribed to this channel, and I'm extremely grateful for them being here. They're on a little bit. Luca is a atheist, or agnostic, if I get that right. Dapper Dino doesn't state his views, but he studies. He used to be a young Earth creationist, and he is presently, I think, agrees with evolution. But just to introduce those who just joined us, Dr. Bob is a debate coach, national debate coach, works with Toastmasters for debate and public speaking. And he's just debriefing me on my performance yesterday. And he's giving me pointers on how to be firm and, still civil, but firm and challenge someone. So there's one thing that TJump said, and I'm just using this for illustration. He said the Hindu religion had predicted the exact age of the earth. Now, I did some fact checking afterward, and that's actually in dispute. So, but I mean, on the debate stage, that's the thing that I complain about, is that in a 2-hour time, it's like, there's just no way I'm going to fact check. People were trying to text me. Sandy Pigeon was trying to text me through the chat. And I'm just like, I'm not going to be looking at my phone or something. I know that that's how it's done, but maybe if I did have a team, and I'll say, what would you do? Would you just say, TJump, do you have a citation for that? That just sounds, what's a polite way to say it, but also like not look like an idiot if it turns out he was actually accurate. But looking back, that's a contested claim.
Let him. Me in your position would say, that's fascinating. I like that, but I know when I share it, I'm going to need proof. Please provide it. I need proof. I like it. I'm going to share it. I need proof.
Well, maybe a polite way of saying it is, I think it'd be helpful to the audience if you could provide proof of that.
Oh, that's
me.
That's too polite, Sal.
That's me. That's me. but I mean, at least I'm going to call him. Just that's a just quiet way of saying, hey, that's a. I hope. Oh, you know what? Since he's a skeptic, I said, I think since you're a skeptic, I think you'll appreciate. I would hope you'd appreciate that I'm skeptical of that claim, and
I like that. That's a good one too.
Okay, so I'll write that down. Since you're skeptic, you should value me exercising some skepticism, because I think he was wrong. And I mean, I looked it up. I thought that was interesting, so I looked it up. And then he did say some things that he did say some things that are factually wrong, like that life could evolve in other universes. I'm just like, yeah, I have to think about that one. But now I came up with a better definition, not just life.
Fascinating. Proof, please.
Yes. Life that is capable of doing science. Life that is capable of doing science. The other universes that are not fine-tuned, that will not be possible. And so I'm just critiquing myself. Looking back, I should have said that.
Here's a comment. I just saw this comment here from your contact, Luca.
Yes.
I do think that TJump is not a very good debater. We talked about that earlier. He wasn't debating. He was just an attack dog looking to attack. And when he got counter punches, he just said, he brushed it off. That, nah, that's nothing to it.
Yeah. So it's
well stated.
That's if TJump is a horrible debater, I should have crushed him. And I don't think I put him away as well as I could.
You were being nice guy, not debater.
Yeah. Okay. Stop being nice guy. All right.
No. Turn it off at times.
Turn off nice at times. Okay.
Would anyone else like to jump in and say yay or nay on that one?
Well, the thing is the thing about just being emotional or just kind of mean.
Redefined Living says, yeah, I agree. You have to be careful with your over politeness in a debate.
Yeah. But, the thing is that I'm always the one that's like, facts really count for a lot. And I just don't know how to handle, I don't know how to handle when someone just gives you non-facts and say that's the consensus. At least I didn't. And I thought about it. But
we're in a debate, so please provide facts to support it.
And then, okay, so what he did is he said, I just provided facts and proof. And I know that those are not facts and proof. And I repeated it a few times. I just didn't feel I was connecting and just kind of pointing it out. And I have to think about it in my mind how I'll counter that, where someone will represent something as factual. And I know it's not, but it's like it's not quite so easy, because these things are in peer-reviewed papers. And it's kind of hard to call it out and say these scientists are delusional.
Paper. Okay. Which one? Oh, what you could have someone help you look for it. Which one?
Yeah.
Come back to which one?
I happen to know which ones he's citing, because it's there are like 12,000 papers that say, oh, this is a promising development for the origin of life, and this is how it could have happened. And I happen to know it, and it's all garbage. Well, but that's really hard to establish that.
I can't remember the name of the fallacy, but there is one where if I say, Sal, you have green hair, and Sal says, well, I think you have red hair. I need to prove the red hair. And I say, you need to prove that red hair, but I ignore the green hair. The one making the assertion is responsible for citing the source, not the defender.
Okay.
I forgot the name of that fallacy.
The one making the assertion.
Yeah. If this TJ whatever says, well, the origin of life has been proven, and you say, okay, great. Where's your source? Oh, it's in all these papers. Okay, source, please. Source, please, or the statement is invalid. Source, please, or maybe it's not. No, it lacks veracity, which means truth. You can't prove it. Therefore, don't. But I can guarantee you.
And you know what? That would have been
time.
fair. You're correct, because that would have been fair. When I was making statements, especially important ones, I actually cited things almost from memory. I said, look at the The Paradoxes of Life by Steve Benner. I cited books. I cited cosmologists. And
Redefine Living says, turn off nice, turn on debate attitude. And then here's another one. Listen to your coach, brother.
So there you go. Turn off nice, turn on debate attitude. Well, you know what? For the cause of Christ, I will do this. And maybe this is a total aside, but just maybe to visualize. I have a picture here that I have to thank Dapper Dino for.
Here's Nicholas, Proclaimer of Messiah, says, I'd like you to, personally for me, I'd like you to clarify. TJump handles philosophy well, but not facts. I was referred to TJump getting destroyed by atheists. And after 2.5 hours of TJump being ganged up on, turned out he was right and they're all wrong. Clarify that. I'm a little mixed up on it. That long sentence just lost me, I think.
This girl named Godless Girl, that's her handle. She just screamed at him for 2 hours. I thought that was the most entertaining debate I ever saw. Not because of the content, but she's just going crazy. Thank you, Logical, Plausible, Probable. And I want to thank everyone that came out last night. What happened last night in the after show is only an hour after show. I just wanted to meet with my a peer review team I'm putting together, because they're on the other side. And I'm hoping that they'll vet some of my work against common ancestry. And I think if it holds, I'd like to take on Aron Ra and his supposed phylogenetic systematics. But Redefine Living was saying, turn off nice. Everyone's been saying, stop being so nice. And I said, for the cause of Christ, I will do that to the best of my ability. And
Sal,
I got this from Dapper Dino. This is Saint Nicholas in red. And he's, oh man, that's a nice right hook there on a heretic. So maybe that's just an icon to remember, huh? That's the real Santa Claus. All right, that's the real Santa Claus. So I'd like to thank Dapper Dino for that. And thank you, everyone, for the kind words. So for those who joined us late, Dr. Bob is a coach of debate and public speaking at the national and international level. He has participated in Toastmasters. Professionally, he's a network engineer, and he was a former pastor. And I had received word this morning that some people want me to debate Aron Ra and or Matt Dillahunty. So I need some practice because I'm not swinging in the big leagues yet, and we'll see how I do. So I'm going to go around and start maybe practicing a little bit. So that's what's going on, and I thank everyone who's joined us. And I'm going to try a new debate tactic, because a lot of times they're attacking Christianity, and Christians don't attack atheism. And what I mean by that, so I'm going to try it out. I have my pool of people that have offered to debate me, and we'll just try out these ideas. So what I'm going to say is like, okay, so James Tour, Jesus appeared to him. He became a very good scientist. What does atheism have to offer him? Why do you want to overturn his belief? Are you so sure you're right? Same for Charles Duke. Same for any number of people that have experienced miracles in their lives, and it turned their lives around when they gave their hearts to Jesus. What does atheism have to do for them? What does atheism have to do for me? If you're saying, particularly if someone like Matt Dillahunty comes up to me and say, well, you can do science better. It's like, well, that'd be nice, but you're not a scientist. So I'm already doing better science than you, Matt. Not that I expect it should get personal like that. I'm not,
That's
but if you throw something at, I'm sorry.
If you don't overemphasize it or too strong on it, you say, well, let's see. He's a scientist. I'm a scientist. You're not. You don't like what I have to say. I'm already a better scientist than you. So can we move on now?
And well, the other thing is, there's one question that came up yesterday and said, why should I take you seriously? And I should have said a little bit more forcefully. It's like, well, I'm not expecting you to take me seriously. The real reason I come out here is I want to find if you have reasons, if you can give me reasons I should take your position seriously. I mean, what do you have to say to someone like Charles Duke, astronaut, walked on the moon, and then gave his life to Jesus, prayed for this blind girl, and she got healed? What do you have to say to that blind girl who can now see? She was blind and now she can see. What do you have to say to her? What does atheism have to offer someone like that? Just say hypothetically. I mean, are you going to go up to Charles Duke, who gave this account? I mean, or James Tour, who publicly said he was visited by Jesus, and early in his college career, now he's a famous scientist. What do you have to say to people like that? Are you the judge of all reality? Are you that sure that God did not visit them? I mean, what hope do you have to offer me? Why, if I adopt your position, should I have a reason for getting up in the morning? You know what? That's the one thing that they've never been able to answer, and I've let them get away too easily by just trying to, they have all these criticisms, and I'm just playing defense. If I debate Matt Dillahunty, I'm going to play offense. I say, what do you have to offer anyone by non-belief? He has a show where 40,000 people show up, and they're all cheering their belief in the non-existence of God, or whatever you call it. It's like, well, what do you have to offer me? I'm not asking you to take me seriously, but now can you tell me why I should take you seriously? Okay, that's me not being so nice now.
No, there's a difference between being nice and being a doormat.
Yeah. All right, don't be a doormat. I can be a gentleman, but not a doormat.
Think of this, Sal. Your mother told you made a mistake. Did she destroy you, or tell you in such a way you felt kind of good about it?
Say again?
Your mother told you made a mistake. Did she do it in a way that destroyed you, or made you feel kind of good in the process of learning?
I don't know.
Most parents, more often than not, will make you feel kind of good about improving. Initially, if it's a really big boo-boo, they're kind of like, oh, kid's kind of destroyed. But, you build them afterwards. So it's a difference between crushing them, cruelly, harshly, rudely, or just pointing out, hey, when you said that about Sal's green hair, you were really wrong. The evidence clearly shows that was wrong. Well,
Dr. Bob, I know your time is short, but you know what? Since if I could explain a little bit about last night, if anyone would like to join the stream now, since I see right after a big public debate like that, I was just really kind of scared about the kind of people that may jump in on an open mic. And that's why I didn't make it an open mic. And plus, I really wanted to reach out for my new peer-reviewed committee, which is David Neff, Erica, Dapper Dino, and anyone that they can recruit. Because this is important to me as I prepare to take on the problem of universal common ancestry. I'm hoping to work with Change Tan and Dr. Change Tan and Dr. James Carter on graduate level textbooks that will talk about creationism. And a good component of that is just evaluating, criticizing evolution theory. So I just posted the link if anyone would like to join the chat now. Join the stream. Oh, Nicholas is here. Dr. Bob, thank you for your time. I know you said about half an hour, so you've given me 45 minutes, and some other people are joining. And I have a little bit of time, and I wanted to just make it up to anyone who wasn't able to join the stream. So God bless you, Dr. Bob, and Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you. Merry Christmas to you, to one and to all, now and forever. I think I'll just lurk a little bit and listen.
All righty. Nicholas, welcome. And Logical, Plausible, Probable, you're also welcome to come.
So I just want to mention a little bit about how Dillahunty operates and about how Aron Ra operates.
Okay.
So Dillahunty, he is literally a magician, and I guess technically professional, because I think he does it on a level that he gets paid for it. I don't know for sure. But
I think he's a professional. So
yeah, and he brings his magician tactics to the debate. He's not at all a fair debater when it comes to intellectual honesty. He even uses like emotional leverage. Like he'll, if you cite how the Bible says that those who went out from us were never of us, because he wants to equate his Christianity that eventually failed and he became an atheist. He wants to insist that that's an example of Christianity creating a straw man for the Christian opposition. And then he'll like throw a tantrum if you try to say that according to the Bible, that is not a real Christianity, because those who go out from us were never of us. And so, yeah, because he'll like throw a tantrum. That's a very hard point to get to stick with him.
Well, you know what? I've never seen many Christians go on the offense like I just said, and this actually began my journey back to Christianity when I nearly left 20 years ago. I was just loving all the skepticism because it was so unwelcome in the church, and that was very painful for me personally. And people were just demeaning me and just treating me bad, and so I didn't leave, but I just I had enough, and I'm going to hang out with people that value critical thinking and skepticism. Yeah, and so it felt great for like a whole year, and then I said, okay, so where do you find meaning in life?
Yeah, for me, skepticism was important because I was indoctrinated into the deceptions of the world, and without skepticism, I never would have gone away from that. Because Jesus Christ is true, and in the end, he can overcome pure skepticism the way that nothing else can overcome pure skepticism, because nothing else is pure truth the way that Jesus Christ is. But yeah, what I want to impress on you, that was the most detailed I'll get about Dillahunty, but generally he's very much rhetoric and tactics. And so he's very difficult to debate, and I don't think it'll be a very scientific debate. He'll posture and display for the audience. Now, Aron Ra can be very belligerent. Like, people always want to get timed back and forths with him because there's so much talking over and stuff. And ironically, the one time I've seen him be really cordial in a debate was a friendly, about a half-hour debate where Mr. Batman was debating Aron Ra, and it was like very small. It wasn't even really a public debate. Okay. And Mr. Batman is also known for talking over and being belligerent, but somehow both of them together were very cordial with each other. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Batman went into the root of philosophy, and Aron Ra started saying that rocks have some level of consciousness and stuff like that. So that's an exception. But Aron Ra will actually throw scientific punches and stuff. So that would be, I'm not saying you shouldn't debate Matt Dillahunty, but Aron Ra would be a more appropriate debate. And I think with you, he won't necessarily do so much talking over and all that, because you can support your science and you know your stuff. But at the same time, you'll want to be ready to really support everything you say, because his ego, and this is my personal interpretation of it, his ego is going to be really offended by your science being better than his science. Okay. And so that's going to contribute to him wanting to be belligerent, while at the same time, your scientific merit that you bring to the table will mitigate that. So that will be a much more of a real debate between you and Aron Ra, but there are some things to look out for there.
Wow.
Thank you.
Hello.
Let me introduce Will and Luca. Luca, it's finally...
I'm so sorry, I'm getting a call.
Hang on. Luca, it's nice to finally meet you in person. Sort of in person. We've been in the chat, so welcome. I think this is the first time you've been on an open mic in my channel. You are a fellow student of science, as I am.
Yeah.
Even though we've gotten our degrees, I still consider ourselves students
Yeah.
of science.
I have a degree
And I
in chemistry.
appreciate your work in thermochemistry.
Yes,
So welcome.
exactly. Thanks.
How do I pronounce your name? Your last name, Medugno?
Luca Medugno.
Oh,
Medugno.
Medugno. So greetings,
Yes,
Will.
it's hard to. Hi.
Hey, Luca,
Hello.
good to see you.
Good to see you.
I don't
too.
know.
Yes.
Luca, name sounds Italian.
I'm Italian.
Ah, buongiorno, monsieur.
Buonasera. Qua sono le 10 di sera.
Different time zone. Okay, you
Yeah.
win.
Good Italian, sir. So,
Sal, you've got a debate tactic to use against the first guy. I forgot his name already. Maybe knock him off kilter and keep him off kilter.
it's a question for me.
No, that was for comment for Sal.
Oh yeah, I don't think Dillahunty can be really knocked off kilter. He's
If you go emotional, yeah, keep him emotional.
well, he only gets emotional on that one point. Oh, I see. Sal froze and had to bring himself back in. Dillahunty only gets emotional on that one point so that he can leverage his straw man, but he generally doesn't get emotional. At least not in that sense.
So just to explain what's going on, James Coons contacted me this morning and said, that was a great job last night.
Yeah.
He said, I want you with Matt Dillahunty or Aron Ra if they'll accept. And he's like, okay.
Oh yeah.
So now Dr. Bob, he is a international and national debate coach in public speaking, Toastmasters. So I couldn't have asked for better help. He actually helped me on my second debate with Dr. Dan. Dr. Bob, he had something very nice to say about me. He coached me on the way I was speaking. Dr. Bob, are you still there?
Oh yeah, I'm listening.
He told me you need to stop saying
Yeah. Hello everyone. Hope everyone's doing good.
Yes.
So I learned to just stutter and just not say It's just better to be silent.
Well, you don't have to
And look
say stutter.
reflective. What he said is if you don't know what to say, just don't say anything and look very reflective and and just learn to say, well, let me think on that. And that's fair. So thank you very much, Dr. Bob. My public speaking skills were increased. I do have a
You
stuttering
sound
problem.
more confident. I watch the other guy hem and haw a little bit, but you had more confidence in what you were saying.
Oh, mean last night?
Yeah.
And I think you
do a
did
lot of
very.
It sounds like you're fishing for something to say and perhaps deceive in the process.
And I think you did very well last night, Sal, because that's
Oh, yeah.
TJump's MO, that he's an immovable object. And it's so ironic that he keeps citing that supposedly all we have is an argument from credulity when his entire tactic against Christians is just to be completely incredulous. But that's just his MO, that he, like, no matter what, he'll be skeptical and not really believe anything, and he just can't be moved. And you did a really good job of showing that there was reasons for him to be moved, so it just kind of made him look unreasonable.
Yes.
Allow me to read something. The argument from incredulity, also known as argument from personal incredulity or appeal to common sense, is a fallacy in informal logic. So when he uses it, he's guilty of the fallacy in and of itself. It asserts that a proposition must be false because it contradicts one's personal expectations or beliefs or is difficult to imagine. Duh.
That's
He's guilty.
Who was having an argument from incredulity?
He kept saying that's an argument from incredulity. And I say, really, in order to say that, it must mean that you don't believe what I'm saying. Sorry. Tough it up, Buttercup. It's real.
Okay, so hang on. Let me. All right, I think we're maxed out here. I think my account will only allow 6. So if some are not able to.
Oh yeah, I'll take
my
off because
apologies.
I contributed what I came to contribute. So thanks for having me, and
God bless you.
Just trust.
Yeah, take care,
Messiah.
Nicholas. Thank you for the kind words, sir, and thank you for the pointers.
It was a pleasure.
So I have to say argument. So Dr. Bob, you said argument from. Okay, if I'm accused of an argument from incredulity, what do you?
Basically means that the person does not wish to believe what you say because it goes against what they know and believe.
Okay.
That is such a weird one. It's not used much. It is a fallacy in informal logic. It asserts that a proposition must be false because it contradicts one's personal expectations or beliefs or is difficult to imagine. Radio is difficult to imagine to someone in the 1800s.
And he did have some technical errors when describing the Big Bang and the inflation model, and that's actually kind of subtle. He said, "Yeah, we have experimental evidence for it. That's not actually true." And it was after the debate I said, "Oh, he didn't state that correctly," because the geocentric model predicts that the sun will rise and set every day, but really so does the heliocentric. So you could say that this is experimental evidence that fits the prediction, but it's like, well, what about all the ones that don't? So I'll be quicker next time because I actually am familiar with that because I studied cosmology in graduate school. I should have been quicker, but you know how it is. The reason I will stammer is, okay, if I'm talking among my graduate student fellows, it's really easy. I could take that down, but in front of an audience that doesn't know what even the topic is, that's really tough. But I'll be better prepared next time if I face that maneuver.
Can I just add something real quick?
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
Hope you're doing good, Saul. Yeah, I've watched that debate, and especially when you address the origin of life, he completely dodged when he says, we're gonna pass towards another subject, and I just saw you like, oh yeah, you want to pass to another subject. I mean, you were crushing him, so I enjoyed that. I was like,
yeah. I finally caught on that he was trying to change the subject. What I should have been more assertive on. This is just me critiquing myself, looking in retrospect. What I should have said is, you're asking for evidence. Here is evidence of something, a structure that violates, its emergence would require a miracle.
Oh yeah, I mean,
okay, so let me put that in my notes here.
Yeah,
I should have explained. I should have explained the relevance of origin of life, and then he was citing that he had experiments that proved it. I need to better challenge him on that. Now, thankfully, I might get a second chance because Dapper Dino's friend, Sphincter of Doom, wants to debate me, and I will do that. So I'd like to thank Sphincter of Doom for offering to debate me. It'll be a good chance to practice. From my understanding, Matt Dillahunty doesn't talk science stuff very much.
No, he doesn't know a lot about evolution.
Yeah. He goes on the offensive of Christianity, and I'm just going to say, okay, well, you may not like a lot of things in the Bible, and but I realized something last night. My goal is not to persuade atheists necessarily. I mean, I'm grateful if anyone does. I can tell you, in 20 years of doing this, only one agnostic flipped, and I'm very grateful for her. And she's the one person that, surprise, surprise, she's the one person who experienced a personal miracle in her life. So she was far more open, and she'd wrestled with it for 3 years because it was haunting her. So she said, what do you think? Is there scientific evidence that a miracle happened? I said, yeah.
Yeah. A biogenesis. If a biogenesis happened, here's your miracle.
And she asked me, she said, do you have any books on that? And I said, there are 2 books I'd recommend. And I was praying about it because I said, I just know that if I give her a Christian book, it won't mean as much. So I suggested 2 agnostic authors, Robert Jastrow and Michael Denton. She read Robert Jastrow book. Jastrow is an agnostic. 6 years later, she met Christ with many tears. But what made it possible was she'd witnessed a miracle of healing, and it haunted her for 3 years. Wouldn't let her go. After that, after her conversion, I was a volunteer at James Madison University. When I was working as a scientist in the aerospace and defense industry, I would drive over to James Madison University and just hang out with the students and witness to them. And in all that time, at 12 years of volunteering, only one person got converted that I know of, and it was the one person that had a miracle in their life, and it haunted them. They were more open to it because that miracle of healing happened to her best friend who nearly died, and that just has an effect on people. I mean, what happened was then thereafter, I saw her whenever I'd go through the dining hall. I'd always see her in the dining hall with her Bible open and just sharing to other students. It changed her life. The whole.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it raises the question why God doesn't work miracles for everyone, and I totally get that, and that's legitimate. But what I tried to say is, if a miracle happened to you, you're on the hook.
Yeah,
you're on the hook to live your life a certain way after that, because God's basically. Yeah. That's why I quoted the verse from Hebrews, which I think was quoting another passage. Today, if you hear His voice, don't harden your heart, because there's some people that God is reaching out to them and they're hardening their heart.
Yeah, He opened their eyes.
Yeah.
It's a big change, and there's a lot of miracle happening, but you just gotta go, because there's certain people that just don't want God to exist. I mean, if you ask a lot of big atheists, if the God of Christianity were to reveal Himself to you in a manner you cannot deny Him, would you accept Him? And they usually say no.
Jungle Jargon, if you have something to say, or Luca, I have to attend to Mom, so you guys got it. You guys got the floor.
Okay, but I can't stay so long. Jungle Jargon is gone.
Yep, only me and you.
Wow.
Oh, here you go. He's back.
Okay. Jungle, please. The floor is yours.
The floor.
Am I back?
Sorry.
Hey, what's up, Jungle? Hope you're doing good, brother.
What's up? Yeah, Will. I was going to ask about the argument from incredulity, but I think the guy just left.
Oh, who? Dr. Bob?
Yeah, Bob.
Because I can understand that argument is when you cannot believe what the other your opponent is telling you. So like
so it's like I'm arguing. Is it if I'm arguing against what I just can't believe? Is that just it, more or less?
Okay, I cannot believe that something like life can be created without a creator. Okay, it's that kind of argument. You just cannot believe that something like that can be true, and that's the argument from incredulity, for what I can understand. So I am not sure about it.
Because I hear it quite a lot about me, so I guess that would mean that I just can't believe that matter can program itself and make living organisms.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's
my argument from incredulity. Yeah. Just because I can't believe that such a thing would be possible then.
Well, I frame it differently. I call it an argument by contradiction, which is actually stronger. And we've used argument by contradiction in math. It's not that I can't believe it. It just doesn't, it's contradicted by facts or theory. And so if we claim it happened according to the laws of physics and chemistry, or at least the accepted ones, if it doesn't agree with it, then either the laws of physics and chemistry are either wrong or there can be exceptions. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
And that's what many of us will accept. And as I said, for someone like James Tour, who had a vision of Jesus, who's like one of the top chemists on the planet, it's like, well, yeah, it's easier for him to accept that. And yeah. So, I mean, it's just going to be really hard to tell someone that's had an encounter with God, no, he doesn't exist. I mean,
it makes me think about Paul. He was really against Christianity, but when he saw Jesus come to him, he was like, what have I done? What evil have I done? And it's like, it's the same thing once you come to God. It's like he opened your eye and you're like in a total different world. It's like you realize everything you did bad and you're like, I'm that horrible as a person. Man, God is gracious.
If I could request some support here, if you could hit the like button. I know this is shameless self-promotion, but it'll help in the YouTube searches.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I
cannot right now, but
okay, thank you. Unfortunately, I probably need to shut this stream down. I got a letter from the boss, and he wants me to do some work for him. So I've been playing hooky to do this. So I'm going to get in trouble if I don't start getting back to work.
Oh,
and,
of course, brother.
This isn't So this isn't goodbye. Hopefully we'll have a chance to talk some more. And Luca, it's really great to finally meet you. It's so nice to see you. And to all of you, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to those also in the chat. And thank you all for visiting today. So
yep.
Take
need
care.
to talk sometime.
I'm sorry this is so abrupt, but we'll talk again.
Of course, we need to chat. We need to set up something, me and you, Saul. Sometime I'll shoot you an email. But
Alrighty.
yeah. God bless you all.
God bless you.
Good work, Saul.
Take care.
Peace.
Take care.
All right.
Merry Christmas.